Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be in the world. My name is Devoted, aka Devin. That's my real name. Aka The Apple Doesn't Fall Far from the Tree. Aka I got a mom tattoo on my arm. I'm just going to give you my season ratings while I've been drinking because I think that's the best thing to do. It's Sunday evening for me. Well, Sunday night for me. I'm on the west coast of the United States of America. So it's 7:15 a.m. on Monday in England. Arsenal have finished second on 89 points. City have won the league on 91 points. 62 goal difference for both teams. Best defensive record in the league for my beloved Arsenal. Most goals scored by Manchester City. Now, let's talk about the positives. Positives. The team, towards the end of the season, became more and more cohesive. The team in 2024 has dropped 5 points. I've seen a lot of talk about Arsenal bottling the league. And it doesn't really make sense to me, to be honest, because we lost one game in 2024. Now, did we lose too many? We lost 5 games this year. 5. These many. 5. Is that too many? If you're going to go up against City, yes, it is. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to say the positives. I think Bukayo had a good year, even though a lot of people said it was an off season. I think Odegaard had a good year, even though the numbers were down. Declan Rice was a game changer. Gabriel and Saliba, team of the season type performances from them. David Raya was started out as a challenge, but I think pretty quickly, relatively quickly, Arsenal fans got behind him. I'm not going to do any kind of ITK stuff. I got other things to do in my summer. I'm moving this summer cross country. Actually, I'm moving to North Carolina from California. So I got bigger things to do this summer than worry about who we're signing every day of the week. So I'm not going to give you that information. If you want that information, there are plenty of people that will give it to you. But anyway, going back to the positives this season, Odegaard's finish, Ben White's finish, Partey coming back and actually proving himself and showing how good he is. Urian Timber getting to play 30 minutes. Obviously, the two boys at the back, in the middle, Ben White was great, and the improvement we won more games this year than we've ever won before in our illustrious run, I guess I'll say. Yeah, those are the positives. I'm sure there's more. The goal difference, the defense, all of that, great. It's tough being the best defensive team in the league and losing. It's very tough. But when you're going up against the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, even Ruben Diaz, Gavardiol towards the end of it. It's a tough place. it's a tough team to beat to anything, let alone in one game or a whole season. Um, but let's talk about the cons, right? And then I'll get into my ratings. I don't know if I'm going to rate every player at this point, but I will rate the season as a whole and give my reasoning behind it. I did it on the live stream. This was my live reaction, basically. Um, Nobody caught it, but that's okay. Anyway, the cons. We lost everything. There was not one thing we won. We didn't win the Carabao. We didn't win the FA. We didn't win the league, and we didn't win the Champions League. Now, can you have a trophyless season and say you had a successful season at the same time? Yeah, yeah. People do it all the time. Aston Villa would probably do it. Probably say they did. We cannot. As an Arsenal fan, you cannot sit here and go, great season. This season was a 6 at best. And the reason I say it was a 6 at best is because we didn't win anything. If we would have won the Carabao Cup, 7. I think that's fair. If we would have won the FA Cup, I'd say 7.5, maybe borderline 8. If we would have won the league, it's a 9. If we would have won the Champions League, it's a 9. If we win a double in any form, it's a 10. And I know people are going to go, but what if you win a treble? Then it's a 10. Like, it's solidified as a 10. If you win more than one trophy in a year, it's a 10. You had a good season. The only team that could probably say that they didn't get a 10 in their season is City, because they went from winning a treble to winning a double. So, my season ranking or rating for this year is definitely a 6. That being said, I am going to rank some of the top guys because I just think I feel like I need to. Ben White, second half of the season, 8, 9, 8 or 9, easily. First half of the season could easily be a 5 or a 6. He just didn't play well in the beginning. So I'm going to give him a 7 throughout the whole year. I'm going to say, nah, fuck it. I'll do Raya now. Raya, personally, over the whole season, I'll give him a. I'll give him a 7. He goes home with the trophy, so it's tough not to give him a 7. He goes home with the trophy. But that trophy, the clean sheets or the Golden Glove, whatever you want to call it, it's tough to agree with because we defensively were so sound. So I'm gonna give him a 7. Saliba and Gabriel together, I give them. Both of them have shouts at player of the season. I'm gonna give them an 8. I don't think I can give anybody a 10. With how good Declan Rice was, even, I couldn't give him a 10. So I'm gonna give him. So I'm giving them an 8 because I think the 2 9s I'm gonna give out are our top 2 candidates for player of the season. Now at left back is tough because you can go Tommy, you can go Jakob, you can go Zinchenko. Zinchenko didn't play that much. Tommy was hurt some parts of it, and so was Jakob Kivior. He got replaced. So I'm gonna go Tommy, and I'm gonna say he gets a 7.3. Wasn't the greatest left back on the planet because whenever you have a Spurs player that I feel like played a better left back than you, I think we struggled there. But not his fault. not his position normally. So that's why I'm giving him a 7-3. I don't normally do points, but I'll give him a 7-3. Midfield. Do I Declan played the sixth the most, I feel like. Maybe he didn't. So I'll go Jorginho gets a 7. I'll give him a 7.6 because I think when he was in there doing a job, we understood it. He did a great job. He wasn't Thomas Partey, but he could pass in between the lines. He could move us up forward offensively, and he knew positionally where the fuck he was supposed to be. The only negative I can look at, Tottenham. Tottenham at home, the 2-2 draw. He made that one mistake. That's his one real big downfall. That's it for me. So I'd give him a 7.6, 7.7, 7.8, somewhere in there. I can't give him an 8. I'm going to do Declan Rice. I'm going to give him a 9. He's very easily, if somebody said he was our player this season, I wouldn't argue it. If somebody said Odegaard was our player this season, I might argue it a little bit because of his first half. So I'm gonna give Declan a 9. I might not hand out another 9. I think Declan Rice is probably our player this season. That being said, Thomas Partey towards the end of the season, I shouldn't even give him a rating because he didn't play long enough, but he showed his fucking caliber, and it's head and shoulders above whatever the fuck we have as a 6 because we've pushed Declan Rice forward. So, keep him for another year. Bring in a kid. Amadou Onana from Everton. I think that's his first name. I'm drinking though, so I don't know. Onana from Everton. I'd love to have him as the 6. Similar build. I potentially think similar ability. Maybe less than. But if he's sat behind Thomas Partey and just learned how Thomas Partey did what he did, I think we could be very impressed with him personally. Whether it happens or not, whatever. That's something to discuss over the summer. But I do genuinely think Onana from Everton is a potential replacement. Now, I did Declan Rice, so I'm gonna do Odegaard. 8-7. 8-7 for the sheer fact that what he did in the first half was poor. It was poor. And that may have been instruction, that may have been coaching, that may have been a lot of things, but he was poor in the first half of this season. And potentially could have cost us, may have cost us points. But his second half, his 2024, crazy. His 2024 is a 10. Only thing missing is winning something. His 2024 is a 10. He was just that good in 2024. So yeah, that's 8. I'm gonna say 8-8. Not quite a 9. Not quite Declan Rice, because Declan Rice was consistently good. There's not a game that I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna go, he was poor. Odegaard has a couple games where I think he was poor. Now, let's go. I want to go Kai Havertz, but yeah, fuck it. Let's go Kai. Again, first half, poor. Second half, good. Not great, but good. So I'm going to give Kai Havertz a. I know I said I didn't do points, but I've been doing points. I'm going to give him a 7-1. Just above a 7. I was flirting with 7-1 and 6-9. I don't. No, I'm gonna give him a 6.9 just because his first part, his uh, feeling out or trial period, I'll say, was not good at all. Excuse me. So I'm gonna say 6'9", 6.9, not Takashi, because he's a rat. Anyway, so yes, right wing, Bukayo Saka. Did he have his best year? No. Does he get double and triple teamed every time he touches a ball? Yes. Does he have to figure it out? Yes. Did he have his best goal contribution? Yes. He he's a model of consistency. That's why I give him a 7. I'll give him a 7.5 because he is the model of consistency in our team. This kid at 17 years old was dragging us out of the fucking mud. This kid at 18 years old was dragging us out of the fucking mud. This kid at 19 years old was dragging us out of the fucking mud. For 3 fucking years, we had to deal with shit teams. Maybe not 3 full years, but we had to deal with teams that just weren't doing their fucking jobs. And he was on it. I love Bukayo Saka. I need him to step up next year, though. Phil Foden got him this year. And I'm not one to compare Foden, Saka, Bellingham, Palmer. Like those, I'm not going to compare those guys because I feel like there's a different skill set in all of their positioning and all of their uh, ways that they play football. Bukayo Saka was a winger, is a winger, was a left back, now a right winger. People that just disregard the ability it takes to go from a left back in Unai Emery's system to a right winger in Mikel Arteta's system to a right winger in Gareth Southgate's system. Because I've heard people that just disregard that are, I'm not going to call them casuals because maybe you aren't. But what I will say is you're just a hater. Because to go from those 3 different coaching systems, because they are 3 different coaching systems, and then to still be called a system player by a lot of people is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I don't get why you guys do it. Now, did Bukayo have his best year? No. Did he have 32 goal involvements? Yeah, he did. Those are Mo Salah numbers. They are. Right in and around 32 goal involvements. They are. And he's 22. Let him grow. Let him be good. My only hope is that we don't overplay him. We don't get him to the point where he's just burnt out at 25. Now, is Phil Foden a baller? Absolutely. Did he deserve PFL Player of the Year? Absolutely. I'm not taking that away from him. His team won the championship, and he was the most consistent player. He had some drop-offs, as does everybody else. He was the most consistent player in the Prem. When Rodri wasn't there, when De Bruyne wasn't there, when Holland wasn't there, he picked up the slack. And he's, what, 23, 24? It's impressive. It's impressive what he did. Now, Cole Palmer, while he took a lot of penalties, he scored a lot of goals too, a lot of tough ones. He assisted a lot. He did his job. Cole Palmer was an incredible player this season, and I hope he can continue it. Do I hate Chelsea? Yes, I do. I hate them. I still don't think football is correct, especially in the last 20 years, if Chelsea is not involved in deciding a title. I don't think Chelsea's good enough to compete for the title next year, but we'll see what kind of moves they make this summer. Anyway, let's get back to our players. Saka, 6.9, I think is what I decided. Not because he was bad, it's just he was flashy. He was streaky. It happened from time to time. He got hot, he cooled off. He got hot, he cooled off. I got this thing on my shoulder. It's a string. It's been bugging me all goddamn day. Anyway, um, so I'm gonna call him streaky. So he gets a 6.9. Nice. Um, Martinelli. Let's start with him. Poor. He gets a 5. And I know that's average, but Martinelli was poor this year compared to what he could be. He's a talented kid. The problem is, in my opinion, he dribbles with his head down a lot. He misses crosses a lot because of how he dribbles. Now, am I a football coach or a footballer whatsoever? No. But I've coached basketball. It's pretty quick. You dribble with your head down, you're lost. You can't do anything with it. So I'm going to give him a 5. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's going to come back next year. He's going to kill it. I just have to. 5. And Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz. No, I already gave Kai Havertz. Oh, Leandro Trossard. That's what we're going with. Leandro Trossard is probably one of the most clutch people I've ever had the just grace and ability to watch. That's garbage. Leandro Trossard is probably one of the best players I've had, clutch players I've had the opportunity to watch. And I grew up watching guys like Kobe, Jordan, clutch. The reason I relate to basketball is because I didn't get into football until 2003, 2004, Arsenal's invincible season. And that was just because it wasn't on TV out here. It was new, you know what I mean? So we had Arsenal, United, Chelsea, and that was really it. So I picked Arsenal because my favorite color was red. And I was really a big French supporter, like David Trezeguet, Zinedine Zidane, and Thierry Henry. Really a big French supporter. That was really what pulled me to Arsenal. Robert Pires, and that kind of stuff. Now, can't stand France. Paris sucks. No offense. Actually, fuck that. All the offense. But yeah, no, the French football team was what got me into Arsenal. So anyway, Trossard, I have to give it a 7.4. I'm gonna give it a 7.4, just because he picked up some clutch goals. So did Kai, by the way, and he was just probably the best finisher we have at the club. So I'm gonna give my way too early predictions for next year. Next year, Arsenal wins the Premier League. Next season, by the way. That's what I meant by next year. Same thing, whatever. Arsenal win the Premier League. City come in second. Liverpool fourth. Chelsea third. Crazy, right? But PFL player of the year is I'm gonna go Martin Odegaard. I think he's gonna have a big year next year. I think he's gonna pick up where he left off. I think he's going to. Sorry. I think he's going to have a ton of assists. Maybe not so much goals because I think we've moved away from him scoring goals and more him assisting goals. I think he's gonna have a bunch. I think he's gonna have the most assists in the league. I think Saka's gonna have 20 Prem goals, and I think we make it to the semifinals of the Champions League. So I'm gonna say Premier League winners, FA Cup finalists, and semifinalists of the Champions League. Those are my predictions for this year. This next year coming up, because I think we're gonna buy. I think we're gonna buy Sesko or who's that other cat? Gorky's or whatever. I'm American and I'm drinking. And then I think if we brought in a midfielder, and a lot of people saying a defender, but give Kieran Tierney a shot, is what I say. Because we don't have to invert from that side, especially if we got Yuri and Timber. We can invert from the right side. Just yep. Anyway, contrary to popular demand, Arsenal win the league 2024-2025. Peace up, LA town down. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Maybe, maybe not. Bye.